Welcome to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show, a real estate investment program. Listen and learn how to use real estate to build wealth and passive income streams for you and your family. We bring you experts every day to discuss and answer your questions on everything from single-family homes all the way up to 600-plus unit apartment complexes. And now, the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Welcome to the show. This is Andy Webb with Lifestyles Unlimited. And as always, we're working on your financial freedom. Hey, if you caught the show last Saturday, you'll remember we talked about disability and what you can do to prepare for the eventuality that life throws you a curveball, that life catches you off guard with an accident or a sudden unexpected health problem that lays you up for some period of time, or maybe it's even something planned. You know, I mentioned my wife's mom had a hip replacement surgery and she's out of work for 3 to 4 weeks. You know, and if your only income comes from a job and suddenly you can't work, well, you might not get paid for a few weeks or a few months, maybe even a few years, or it could be a permanent situation. And at Lifestyles Unlimited, we want you to be prepared. And, you know, we talked about a number of options out there to protect yourself. And I think it was pretty clear that building a consistent stream of passive income through real estate investment is really the way to go. And of course, that doesn't just protect you for those cases where you have disability, but ultimately you can find your financial freedom, retire early. You know, the world opens up to you if you build that passive income. But the question becomes, how do we do that? You know, what is the key to becoming a successful investor? And I'll tell you, really, there are several ingredients, but there's really one big important thing, and we're going to dive into that today and talk about what you need to succeed. Now, you may also recall that my wife was out of town last weekend. She was down there helping out her mom after that surgery. Since, like I said, she was laid up dealing with that short-term disability due to the hip replacement. And I was fortunate. She took the toddler with her. I had a pretty quiet weekend. Well, my wife is out of town again, but turnabout is fair play, and this time she's left the toddler with me. House is chaos at the moment, I'll tell you that. And she's headed down south of Houston to a drop zone down there, a skydiving drop zone, to participate in a competition. It's an annual competition, formation skydiving competition, a 20-way formation competition. So, you know, picture this. She and 19 other teammates, they're going to all cram into a mid-sized, you know, kind of a smallish twin-prop airplane and climb to about 14,000 feet. And at that altitude, they're going to roll up the plexiglass door, and it gets real loud, it gets real windy in there, and it gets real cold this time of year at 14,000 feet. And 7 or 8 of them will climb out, and they're going to hang on the outside of that airplane. Well, you know, and it's still traveling. It's going a good, 85, 90 miles an hour. And the rest of the jumpers, they'll all line up inside the door, wait for the signal, and then pow, they all exit the plane together. And they try to complete as many in a sequence of 4 or 5 preset competition formations as they can in about 50 seconds of free fall. That's how long they're falling. And some of these are pretty complicated. You know, all the while they're plummeting towards the earth at 110, 120 miles per hour. You know, and this is all being filmed. There's a guy with a video camera mounted on his helmet and little wings on his jumpsuit. He floats just above the formation, captures the entire thing on video, and the judges on the ground, they review that video and assign the round some points. And there are usually 4 rounds in the competition, and it somehow manages to take all day, all the time, maybe goes over 2 days. And I'll tell you, it's exhausting, it is stressful and intense and fun all at the same time. And it's in an environment with great people that all come really from a variety of backgrounds, a variety of ages, different experience levels in terms of skydiving. But all of these people, they come together, they share a similar focus. These are all people that work to help each other to stay safe, to improve as skydivers, to become better. And in that sense, it's very similar to what I see with investors at Lifestyles Unlimited. You know, of the investors that come together at Lifestyles, case studies, for example, and single-family road trips and other events, you know, we're a peer group, and we help each other out. In fact, I went to the case study here in Dallas-Fort Worth just this past Thursday, and I'm always inspired when I go to these things. There are typically 2 single-family case studies. You know, investors get up and present recent deals, and then one multifamily one, and the single-family case study really caught my attention. This couple, they're newer. They've been at it just about a year now, and right out the gate, they captured $92,000 in equity on their first deal. They had about $20,000 into the deal, if I recall. So they've tripled their money out the door. And I'll tell you a little bit later about a couple of the other deals that they picked up, but it's phenomenal, and it's inspirational every time. Now, I want to tell you, I skydive as well, and normally I jump with this same team every year. I love it. It is a blast. But this year I chose to sit it out for two very important reasons. Number one, I wanted to stick around town with my toddler. I missed him last week, and I didn't want to farm him out to a babysitter or, my disabled mother-in-law. And number two, I made a commitment. I made a commitment to the Lifestyles organization, and I made a commitment to you, a commitment to become a radio show host, to learn this trade, and how to put together good content and deliver a sound message to you, because I believe in the message. I believe in the message that we talk about at Lifestyles Unlimited because I have lived it firsthand. And, the freedom, the financial freedom that we talk about on this program, it's real. And that's something that is very important to me. It's very important to me that you understand that. And if you're skeptical by nature, and I am as well, you need to push that aside, because what we talk about can have a radical impact on your life. The roadmap that we always talk about, it will get you to where you want to be if you're willing to pick it up. When you buy real estate and build passive streams of income, the results are phenomenal. But it does take some effort. It does take some time. It does take some education. And above all, it takes commitment. And that really is the secret sauce. Just like I've committed to learning this radio thing, you have to be committed to building passive income and to becoming a successful real estate investor. You have to commit. And look, a little later in the show, I'm going to tell you about an offer that Dell has put together to help you with your decision. If you're ready to commit to building passive income, to building a rental real estate portfolio, to joining the thousands of Lifestyles Unlimited members that have found financial freedom, then you don't want to miss this. Hey, and let me mention just quickly, Dell did a great show on this topic of commitment a week or so ago during I think it was a Monday, Tuesday show. If you missed it, I strongly encourage you to go out to the website and listen when you have a chance. It's archived there. You can find the radio show archives if you go to www.lifestylesunlimited.com and click on the radio button. The show I'm talking about is the Dell Walmsley Show. It was May 30th, and the title was Commit to Creating Passive Income. Look, Dell has some great thoughts and some great stories in there. And really, you have to remember, he has over 30 years of perspective on this business, and he's a guy you need to listen to. Now, I want to jump back 15 years into my own past and just tell you a quick story. I want to tell you about when my wife and I very first started skydiving, those first terrifying jumps, and they were terrifying. I tell you this because I think it will help you see that if you set your mind to something, if you commit to doing something, to seeing it through, you really can get through anything, through any fear. I mean, ask yourself, how does the fear of buying a dilapidated house compare with the fear that I may darn well be about to kill myself? So, look, I've been jumping for 15 years. I've got somewhere north of 1,500 jumps, and I even used to be paid as a skydive instructor, as a tandem instructor. That's where I strap you to my chest and take you out the door. But let me tell you, those early days, they were a struggle. This was long enough ago and at a small enough drop zone that we were training on static line progression. And that's basically, if you think about old World War II footage of paratroopers running out the back of an airplane and their parachutes almost pop open immediately, that's a static line. That line connects your parachute to the airplane and opens it for you. But here's the trick. We weren't running out of the back of a big military airplane. We were flying to altitude, which was about 3,000 feet in this case, in a tiny old Cessna 182. And if you don't know what that is, that's like a go-kart with wings. So when we get to altitude, the instructor opens the door, but you don't jump out. No. You climb out. You set one foot onto the step and then the other. You slide your hands along the strut that runs from the bottom of the plane to the wing. And then you let your feet drop off the step and you hang there. You hang from the strut terrified, dangling in the wind, dangling in the prop blast, and waiting for that instructor to nod that it's time to let go. And when he does, you look up at the underside of the wing. There's a black dot that they've painted there to help you focus. But I'll tell you, you're not going to let go. You hang on for dear life. I know I did. And you continue to hang on, and you hang on, and eventually you overcome that primal fear and you let go. And the static line does what it's supposed to do, and you are immediately flying around under a colorful parachute. You're free as a bird. Adrenaline is pumping, and it's glorious. Pardon me. But I'll tell you, a lot of people don't come back after that first jump. After After that, we bought a jump package. We were going to see it through, but I'll tell you, things got worse for me. After 5 static lines jumps, I was cleared for free fall, and I looked at my old logbook, and the instructor wrote, "Lost stability on exit and pulled unstable. Ugly. Do another one." Ugly is what he wrote. So I'll tell you, I was feeling pretty poorly, and the long drive, every time we went out there, was tough. Nervous butterflies built up, fear. But here's what I want you to understand. You know how the story ends. 15 years later, we're still jumping. My wife and I, she's down there in a competition now. But here's why. Back then, we had a vision. We wanted to become licensed jumpers. It takes 25 jumps to do that. And we committed to that vision. We didn't know what was going to happen after 25 jumps. We just wanted to get that rating. And that commitment carried me through all those butterflies. It carried me through the fear. It carried me past those ugly jumps, the scary jumps, and into a whole other world. Look, I want to show you that if you can commit to something, truly commit to it with all of your heart, you will succeed. I'm certain of it. Dell is certain of it. And he's put together an amazing offer that I'm going to tell you about here in one of the coming segments. Hey, you're listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. If you've got questions for me, you can give me a call at 877-711-5211. That's 877-711-5211. And if you don't have time for a call today, you can email me anytime at askandy@luinc.com. That's askandy@luinc.com. And when we come back, we're going to keep talking about the secret sauce of commitment when the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show continues. Welcome back to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. This is Andy Webb, and today we're working on your financial freedom, and we're talking about how you can get started in real estate, but you really got to commit to that step you're going to take. And if you've got any questions for me on this topic or really any other around real estate, you can give us a call at 877-711-5211. This is a live show, and that number is 877-711-5211. Look, if you are thinking about this real estate thing, and you must be if you're listening, if you want to build passive income, I got to ask, what's holding you back? You know, if it's fear or uncertainty, you know, you've just got to take a first step. You know, take that first step and make a decision. Make a decision and commit to yourself. Commit to building this income. Commit to your financial freedom. You know, and why is making a strong commitment important? You know, let me ask you, have you ever set a goal, maybe it was a weak goal or an uninspired goal, you know, maybe just a wish or really a kind of a loose daydream really of sorts, and you just hope it works out, right? But you approached it in a haphazard way, you know, how did it turn out? Did it turn out at all? You know, I've done that, and I think we all do. And if you will indulge me, I just want to relate one more story just from my experience and tell you how that turned out. So let me ask you, though, have you ever tried to learn a foreign language? It's pretty difficult, you know, it can be hard. I have done this. I've done it on a few occasions, and I've tried on a few occasions, and I've seen success, and I've seen massive failure. You know, look, I did my undergrad college studies at the University of Texas down in Austin, and after wasting some time kind of flailing about a bit, I started studying Russian, initially just as a required foreign language component, but I fell in love with it, and you know, ultimately I switched my major to Russian. I became fully committed to the fluency in that language, and I got there. I achieved it. But it was tough. It took years. I had to go to some pretty great lengths to meet that goal, but I did what I had to do. You know, I studied nonstop. I memorized lists of words and verbs and nouns and conjugation and declination. You know, the Russians have a saying, "Повторение мать учения," which means repetition is the mother of learning. And after 3 years of this, you know, I eventually took myself abroad to Moscow for a semester. Then wound up staying for a full year, teaching English just to make a little bit of money to get food, and you know, came home with no money, and eventually graduated from UT and went back one more year, taught English to kids, you know, while improving my language. That commitment yielded results. Now, what about the flip side? What if you don't fully commit to something? Well, you just kind of waffle and meander around, and nothing definitive comes of that. And that's how my efforts at Spanish have worked out. And I'm in North Texas. We've got a lot of Spanish speakers around here. And I've been studying Spanish off and on for, you know, 30 years now, dabbling here and there when the mood hits. And it goes all the way back to 9th grade Spanish with Miss Rowe over at Hearst Junior High just down the road here. And, you know, 3 years of compulsory Spanish in junior high and high school, well, that didn't really take for me. And a couple of extracurricular classes here and there at community colleges, you know, over the years, that really didn't take. And We were recently cleaning out our house, purging some stuff, and I found a stack of old Spanish training books, that I'd bought here and there since being out of college. 2 were completely done. Congratulations, Andy. Good job. 1 was half completed, and 1 had like a couple of pages done. That was it. So clearly that didn't help either. So, what is my problem? I can tell you what it is. I just simply, I've never committed to learning the language well, not like I did with Russian. I don't know why. I've not committed to putting in the time or effort. I can read it okay. I can write it a little bit with the help of Google Translate, but don't ask me to speak it. So the point is this: whatever you have in front of you, whatever it is that you think you want to do, you have to commit to it. If you do anything else, it's just a daydream. And you end up at the end, wind up at the end of your life thinking about woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? So let me tell you, if you're not happy with your situation in life, if you're not happy with your job, if you don't want to wait till you are 65 to retire, you got to do something about it. You have to commit. You have to commit to taking the action necessary to change your own life. And let me tell you, Del Walmsley, the founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, he is committed to your success. And that's why he built the organization. That's why for 30 years he has continued to talk about building passive income, about investing in real estate. But he can't get you up off the couch. You have to do that. You have to make the commitment to take action. But Del, he can give you a helping hand. And he's put together an offer that is phenomenal. If you are ready to take action, if you are ready to commit to changing your life by building passive income, then Del's ready to help you get started. Right now, he's offering $500, off of the regular annual membership to Lifestyles Unlimited. It normally costs $740 per year, but he's dropped that price by $500. And if you want to take Del up on that offer, go to the website buymylifeback.com. That's buymylifeback.com. The promo code to get that $500 discount is Andy, my name, A-N-D-Y. Look, what I don't want you to do is approach real estate the same way that I approach Spanish. It's not going to get you anywhere. You need to commit to your success. Go to buymylifeback.com, enter promo code Andy, and get that $500 discount. And if you have any questions for me, you can call us at 877-711-5211. Again, that's 877-711-5211. This is the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show, and we'll continue in a moment and continue to talk about commitment and what you need to do to get started in real estate. You're listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. This is Andy Webb, and I'm happy to be with you today. And today we're talking about commitment, which is really the secret sauce that you need to get anything done in life, whether it's running a marathon, learning to skydive, or learning a foreign language, or investing in real estate. And we had a question over the break. A caller called in asking about what comes with that financial freedom program. If you go to that website, buymylifeback.com, you'll see a number of bullets, and you can take a look at that. It'll tell you about the 2-day seminar, the access to the member services team, the online learning hub, and some other items there. But I want to continue talking about commitment, and I want to flip this conversation about commitment on its head for just a moment. Now, we've been talking about the importance of commitment to get things done, pardon me, to achieve our goals, to succeed both in real estate and other areas of life. But what about your job? I got to ask, are you committed to your job and to your employer? If not, why are you there? I get it. I know the answer. Well, I need income. I got to have money to live. And, we talked about that around the whole concept of disability and getting laid up and whatnot. But that's why we want you to get some passive income in your life so you're not so dependent. But let me ask you a different question. Is your employer committed to you? Look, there's a lot of rah that goes on in companies these days, and we love our employees, and we want to train you, and we want to see you succeed, blah, blah, blah. Look, it's all bogus. When that profit starts to shift at that company, when profit starts to decline, how important do you think you really are? Look, this really struck me personally back in 2014 when a lady I worked very closely with was there one day and gone the next, as were a number of others. The company had decided to trim the fat. Sure, the market had softened a little bit in that business sector. It hadn't plummeted or anything crazy, but that was their opportunity to trim the fat and get rid of a few folks. And I can tell you that at that moment, the real importance of this passive income, and we were already buying houses at this time, fortunately, so I felt a little bit more insulated from that, but the real importance of everything that we are doing by building up a portfolio of rental property, of building up passive income, it really hit home for me. So I know you might be thinking, well, hey, Andy, you talked about unemployment's down to 3.6%. What do I have to worry about? They can't lay me off. They won't be able to hire anybody. Look, if you don't think layoffs are happening, you're crazy. They sure are. Go and check out Challenger Gray and Christmas. That's a global job placement and coaching company, and they publish a monthly job cuts report. And the May 2019 report shows, for example, that the job cut announcements by U.S.-based firms, they're up 46%. They've jumped up 46% to about 59,000 workers that are impacted. And a big part of that is the tech sector. And a lot of folks nowadays are in the tech sector. And the vice president there, Andrew Challenger, he said in his words, large tech firms are finding they need to move workers through the pipeline in order to become more agile. Move them through the pipeline. That's a nice euphemism. Look, they're trimming the fat. And in particular, they're offering buyouts to older workers. So if you're not ready to retire soon, you better start building up that passive income. Hey, in the automotive sector, we see a lot of movement as well. Ford recently announced a 10% cut in its salaried workforce globally. And earlier in the year, GM announced a cut of 14,000 salaried positions. And Tesla, love it or hate it, is cutting 3,000 jobs as well. So, these won't all be in the U.S. necessarily, but you can bet some U.S. workers will be impacted. So look, again, I have to ask you, despite all the rah-rah-rah and the noise that your company may make, are they really committed to you? Are they really committed to your success? Are they committed to you for the long term, to getting you to retirement? You need to ask yourself that. I'll tell you who is committed to your success. First of all, it better be you. You better be able to commit to your own success. But of course, I also mean Del Walmsley. He's committed to your success. He is committed to helping you find financial freedom. And as I mentioned before the break, if you are ready to take action, if you are ready to commit to changing your life by building passive income, then Del, he's ready to help. He's ready to help get you started. Look, the cost to join the Financial Freedom Program normally is $740 per year, $740. But like I said, Del is dropping that price by $500. That's a huge discount, 67%. And that's a family membership. So both you and your spouse can come, bring the kids. Look, you can check out, like I said at the start of the segment, you can go to the website buymylifeback.com to get a little more information. The website is buymylifeback.com, and the promo code to get that $500 discount is my name, Andy, A-N-D-Y. Again, that's buymylifeback.com, promo code Andy to get the $500 discount. And if you think about it, that means you're getting the annual membership for just $240. That's $20 a month. That's not much more than you spend on your Netflix subscription, is it? Think about that. You can spend $20 and watch more junk on TV, or you can spend $20 and change your life. What are you committed to? Hey, this is the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. If you've got questions, give us a call at 877-711-5211. That's 877-711-5211. And when we come back, we're going to wrap up the talk on commitment and get you going in real estate.
What would happen if you didn't show up for work tomorrow? For the next couple of days? For a week? A couple of months? A year? How long until you lose everything you've worked for in a fraction of the time it took to earn it? If this fear keeps you up at night, it's time to learn the strategies we teach at Lifestyles Unlimited. Start with the free workshop. Go to lifestylesunlimitedpodcast.com and find your true financial peace, like so many of our members already have. That's lifestylesunlimitedpodcast.com.
We are back with the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. This is Andy Webb, and today we've been working on your financial freedom by really trying to get you inspired, to get you to commit to your success, commit to jumping into real estate with us. And I'll tell you, don't take too long. When my wife and I were listening to the radio show back in 2011 or so, we waited too long, and we missed a ton of opportunity. It was March of 2012 before we joined, and the market was still pretty far down at that point. And again, I think we waited 6 months, 8 months, a year. It was far too long, and just don't waste time. Don't miss that opportunity. And ahead of the break, we were kind of talking about the company where you work and asked the question, are they committed to you? Are they going to be committed to you for the long haul? And I don't know. I would really think about that question. But I'm done bashing the companies out there for now. Just keep that in mind. They may not have your best interest in mind. They don't. So you got to look out for yourself. Now, there's a very important thing that you have to think about when it comes to the commitments that you have made. You've got to take a look from time to time and ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now, does it make sense? Am I committed to the right course of action? Am I seeing the results that I really want to see? You know, you've probably heard that old saw before. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You know, it's a little bit trite, but it's true. You know, a lot of those commitments that we make, they're ingrained in our society. You know, we collectively, here in the U.S., we collectively do the same thing over and over again, and we don't get different results. You know, it starts out when we're young. We focus on getting good grades, you know, and I'm certainly a proponent of working hard and of getting an education, but the motivation is to get good grades so then we can go to college. And what happens there? We get saddled with debt, or our parents get saddled with debt, or they deplete their savings out of a misguided commitment to us to send us to college, which we know is overpriced nowadays because the money is easy. You know, we talked about the $1.5 trillion in student loan debt that we as a nation collectively carry. Talk about insanity. But look, we're committed to this path. That is the way we are here in America. You know, and eventually we graduate from college and we're committed to finding a job where we hopefully earn well, and hopefully that employer is committed to us as well and keeps us on board. And, you know, again, I'll tell you, that's a risky assumption on our part. But now we're committed. We have to work 40, 50, 60 years. And, you know, we hide a little bit of money away in a 401k account in hopes that we'll have enough of a nest egg to retire with dignity eventually. Look, this is the collective commitment that we seem to have made as a nation, and we're not going to change that overnight. That's embedded in our culture. But I challenge you personally to make a change. I challenge you to commit to a different course of action. You know, in fact, if you're a parent like me and you have a young child, why don't you do this instead? Rather than putting money into a 529 college savings plan, right? Put that money into a rental house or 2 or 3 houses and hold those assets on behalf of your children. You know, I don't know if you knew this, but if you have a 529 plan set up for your kid or you're thinking about it, and they don't go to college and then they withdraw those funds for a non-qualified purpose, well, that money not only gets taxed at a regular tax rate, but it also gets hit by a 10% penalty on top. And that's crazy. Uncle Sam is going to penalize me for not knowing 18 years ago that my kid was going to follow a different path. That, you know, tax earnings, fine, but charging the 10% on top, that's lunacy. So look, buy 1, 2, 3 rental houses, and if your kid winds up not going to college, well, you're not stuck, right? And normally I advocate for a 30-year mortgage to keep a good cash flow to live off of, but in this case, let's take my son as an example. He's 2.5. You know, if I'm not dependent on the cash flow to live on a given house, and I'm holding these houses purely on his behalf, then I could even go so far as to put a 15-year note on the house so that when he hits 18, it's fully paid off. Look, he can keep the house or the houses. He can enjoy that full cash flow, or he can sell them, you know, go to college, whatever he wants to do. I leave that up to him. And remember that real estate doubles in value every 20 years. So by the time he hits 18 or 20, you know, the value of that thing's going to have really exploded for your guy, for your gal, whoever it is. Look, the kid starts out life as a young adult with some assets, maybe some financial freedom even at that point. And we as parents don't have to go into indentured servitude to send the kid to college. You know, hey, if you're not sure where to get started in real estate, but you're ready to make a commitment, let me repeat the offer that Dell has made. Get $500 off the annual Financial Freedom Program by going to buymylifeback.com. That's buymylifeback.com and enter the promo code Andy at the bottom. Look, it's a 67% discount. Dell is practically giving this thing away. So you can go check out buymylifeback.com to learn more. You'll see some bullets on there about the program and what comes with that. So get informed and see if it's something for you. Hey, if you've got any questions for me, you can call at 877-711-5211. That's 877-711-5211, or send me an email to askandy@luinc.com. That's askandy@luinc.com, and we'll wrap up this conversation here in just a second when the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show continues. And I want to tell you about that last idea around commitment that I want to share and get you inspired. We are back with the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. This is Andy Webb, and today we've been working on your financial freedom by really trying to get you to understand the need for a commitment to real estate. You need to dive in and you need to be committed to your financial freedom. And look, the last point I want to share with you when it comes to the topic of commitment is one that Del made on his earlier show that I referenced. And, he brought up one of the earliest commitments that is really ingrained into us at a young age, and again, this is U.S.-wide, when we're still in school, it's a commitment to not cheat, to not copy the work of others. And why does he mention this? Well, that commitment really fosters in us a need to figure things out on our own. And, sometimes that's a good thing. If you're an inventor, that's a great thing. But too often, it stops a lot of folks from seeking help when they should. And it holds some people back from, simply imitating others that have seen success. When someone has proven success, you can be sure that, the best way for your own success is going to be to imitate that person. And I tell you this because when it comes to investing in real estate, there really is no need to reinvent the wheel. I see it happen all the time, but you don't need to do it. You just need to change that commitment to not copy the work of others and commit to doing just that instead. Commit to finding a mentor. Commit to finding someone successful and do what they do. Listen to what they say. Follow their advice. Look, I was at the Thursday case study this past week, and I met an investor there for the first time. And after the session was over, and we were chit-chatting, and he's got a handful of properties. And I noticed in our conversation a couple of times he drew a very clear line between properties he bought since joining Lifestyles and the ones he held before. The ones from before are just kind of lackluster at best, but the ones he's picked up since he's joined Lifestyles and gotten educated on our roadmap, they're doing great. So, and think back to what I mentioned earlier. There was a couple there that presented a few of their single-family deals since joining just about a year ago. And I mentioned one that they knocked out of a park on equity. They saw a $92,000 equity gain out the door. Just after a couple of months. They had something like $20,000 in the deal. They tripled their money in just a few months. And on top of that, they picked up another 3 houses that are collectively cash flowing $1,700 a month. I think 2 of them were a little bit north of $500, and one was over $700. That's phenomenal. Look, these guys had no previous rental real estate experience, but they joined Lifestyles Unlimited, and they just hit the ground running. They're going to be retired in no time, and that's what a mentoring group like Lifestyles can do for you. They show you the path to success. They get you up and running immediately. All right, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. When you do that, you waste time, a lot of time and money on top of that, just trying to figure this stuff out on your own. Don't do that. Look, Lifestyles was founded by Del Walmsley almost 30 years ago, and there is so much experience in one place. When you walk into these case studies or any of the other events, there's so many years of experience. It's just mind-blowing. And, I think I'm reasonably experienced at this point, but I always come away from these events with fresh ideas, with new tips, and even a few leads. I got a lead on a property the very next day, in fact, from somebody that I had talked to that night at the case study. So there's a ton of value going to these things. Excuse me. So, today we've been talking about commitment. That commitment, it really is the secret sauce to building passive income through real estate. You can't just dabble. You can't just dabble in real estate. It irritates me when I talk to someone and they hear what, my wife and I are up to, and they tell me, yeah, I dabbled in real estate. Look, you will not be successful if you treat this as a passing hobby, if you just quote unquote dabble. Here's what you need to do. You need to commit. You need to commit to changing your life. You need to commit to your success. You need to commit to finding a mentor that can show you the way. Commit to becoming a member at Lifestyles Unlimited. It will change your life. It did so for me. Look, one last time. Let me tell you, Del is committed to your success. He wants to help you. He wants to help you find a path to financial freedom. Okay? And he's making it very easy to do right now. Like I said, he's put together an offer that is just phenomenal. Del is offering to discount that first-year membership to the Financial Freedom Program by $500. So instead of the $740 regular price for that annual family membership, it's just $240 for the first year. Again, that's a $500 discount. So look, if you've been thinking about joining, now's the time. Don't do like I did. Don't waste half a year, whatever it was. You're just missing out on opportunity. And I can tell you, I look back at all the houses I saw when I was driving around, thinking about doing this thing, and I kick myself. Hindsight is 20/20, of course. So anyhow, you can check out the offer if you go to the website buymylifeback.com. That's BUY, buymylifeback.com, and put in the promo code Andy, my first name. Again, buymylifeback.com, promo code Andy to get that $500 discount. And you can check out the website there for more information on what comes with the program. And I'll tell you, I don't know how long Dell is keeping this offer open. He didn't tell us. So look, don't miss out on this great opportunity. Dell is committed to your success. The whole team is committed to your success. So we want to see you do well. We want to see you capture that passive income. We want to see you achieve financial freedom. And look, we say it all the time. It's not about the money. It's about the lifestyle. You can build the lifestyle that you want. Build that passive income. Build that lifestyle. This is Andy Webb, and you can find us every day of the week on if you go to the website at www.lifestylesunlimited.com, click on the radio tab. And again, remember, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle.
The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.